Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're the place where we really dig into source material to get you up to speed quickly.
Make you instantly smarter. That's the goal.
Exactly. And today we're focusing on, well, a really foundational marketing story. It's often called, "It all started with an ice cream truck."
Right. It's a first-hand account, which makes it quite powerful.
Our mission today, let's figure out what really grabs a customer's attention. We're talking presentation, emotion, the surprising stuff in sales.
Yeah, and what's great about this source is just how simple it is. It's not some dense theory. It's just one observation.
An observation that sparked a big shift, apparently.
A huge shift in understanding. It really shows how, big insights can come from everyday things.
Okay, so let's get into it. The story takes us to a really hot summer day. Our narrator sees two ice cream trucks. They're like almost right next to each other.
Mm-hmm. Same scorching heat, selling the same ice cream, same price points. Everything should be equal.
But it wasn't. The scene around them was completely different. What did that actually look like?
Well, picture this. One truck is just alive.
Yeah.
Super colorful wrap, flashing lights, that classic ice cream truck jingle playing.
Oh, yeah, I can hear it now.
Exactly. And it's working. There are kids, parents, a real line forming. People look happy, drawn in.
In the other truck.
The other one.
Yeah.
Plain white van. Maybe a handwritten sign taped to the side.
Yeah.
Silent. Still.
And the result?
Completely ignored. Like it wasn't even there.
Wow. And that's the big aha moment, isn't it? It wasn't about the ice cream being better.
No, they actually checked. The ice cream was identical. It was something else.
Yeah.
Something intangible.
Which the narrator called.
The vibe. That's the word used. The whole feeling created by that first truck, the sights, the sound, the energy, that was the difference.
And this leads to the core idea, this ice cream truck principle.
Precisely. The principle is basically marketing isn't just about your product. Maybe it's less about the product and more about how you make people feel about it.
That's a big shift. And what's really interesting is that this wasn't just a passing thought for the narrator. It kind of kicked things off, right?
Oh, absolutely. It became a starting point. This one scene sparked this deep curiosity about how marketing actually works.
So where did that curiosity lead? What areas did they start digging into?
Well, it opened the door to understanding advertising psychology. How our brains respond to ads and branding.
Okay.
And the power of visual branding became super clear. How something looks can instantly signal value or grab your attention.
Like the colorful truck versus the plain one?
Exactly. And crucially, it highlighted emotional triggers, those little cues that connect with how we want to feel, our desires.
And they started seeing this everywhere.
Yeah, the narrator mentioned suddenly becoming aware of it all the time, on Instagram, in the supermarket aisles, even just the feeling of a local coffee shop. It's all marketing, in a way.
So from this one hot day and these two trucks, some pretty core marketing lessons started to become clear. What were the main takeaways the narrator points out, like the top three?
Okay, so the first one is that presentation is like your first handshake.
Your first impression.
Yeah, it's about getting noticed in the first place.
Right.
Making that positive connection. Yeah, the best thing ever. But if no one sees you...
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right. You need that curb appeal, like you said.
Exactly. That's number one. Get noticed.
Okay, makes sense. What's the second key learning?
The second is just how powerful emotion is compared to, say, features and specs when it comes to actually making a sale. People often buy based on a feeling, not just a logical breakdown of benefits. That gut feeling, that emotional pull can be way more persuasive.
Yeah, we've all done that. Bought something just because it felt right, haven't we? Okay, and the third lesson?
The third one builds on that. It's realizing you're not just selling a thing, a product. You're selling something bigger.
Like what?
An experience or a memory people want to create, or maybe a story they want to be part of, or even like an identity they aspire to. The product itself is almost just the ticket to that feeling.
That feels incredibly relevant, even now with everything online. So the story then gives a practical example, right? Applying this ice cream truck principle.
Yeah.
Tell us about that drink brand.
Right. So there was this beverage brand, perfect for summer, tasted great apparently, but sales were just flatlining, stuck.
Okay. What were they doing wrong initially?
Their marketing was all very logical, focused on the facts, natural ingredients, vitamin C, health benefits, the specs.
Like the plain white truck just listing its ice cream flavors?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Very rational, but it just wasn't connecting. It wasn't making people feel anything.
So how did they apply the lesson? How did they change their approach?
They shifted focus completely, away from the ingredients list and towards the feeling of drinking it. the context.
So more like the colorful music playing truck.
Precisely. They started creating marketing, especially visual stuff for social media like TikTok, that was all about classic summer moments. Beach days, hanging by the pool, that simple joy of something cold and refreshing when it's hot.
Ah, so capturing the experience.
Yes. Bright colors, fun music, playful scenes. It became less about the juice itself and all about evoking that summer feeling, that escape.
And the results. Did it work? It sounds like it should have.
It absolutely did. By tapping into that emotion, that desire for the summer experience, the brand saw a really significant jump, not just in likes or shares, but in actual sales.
Wow.
People weren't just buying juice, they were buying a little bit of that summer happiness. It's a perfect example of the principle in action.
That's a great illustration. Now, the narrator also apparently talked directly to their listeners about this.
Yeah, they did. They basically invited the audience to think about it in their own lives.
Yeah.
When have you been drawn to something just because of how it looked, or the music, or an ad that made you feel good?
Makes you think.
And then, for anyone listening who felt their product or service was maybe being overlooked, like that plain white truck,
Yeah.
the challenge was, what's the vibe your truck is giving off? Is it drawing people in?
That's a good question to ask. And then to sort of leave us wanting more, the original piece teased what's coming next.
It did, yeah. Little cliffhanger. They mentioned a future deep dive about a time they made a bold choice with a big client, and it didn't work out.
Ah, so learning from failures, too.
Exactly. Exploring the other side of marketing when things go wrong and what you learn from that. They even gave a title, The Sunscreen Campaign That Failed.
Ooh, intriguing.
And mentioned it would touch on marketing across different generations, which sounds complex.
Okay, definitely something to look out for. So as we wrap up our look at this ice cream truck story, what's the absolute core insight we should take away from this deep dive?
I think the main thing is this. Effective marketing really depends heavily on presentation, on making an emotional connection, and on selling an experience, not just the features of a product.
So it's the ice cream truck principle.
It really is.
Yeah.
It shows that getting customers often comes down to creating that compelling vibe, something that resonates with what people desire or how they want to feel. It's about making them feel something positive.
It definitely changes how you look at marketing, doesn't it? It's not just charts and strategies. It's more like, what did the narrator call it? Storytelling in the heat of the moment.
That's a great way to put it. It forces you to think beyond just the transaction. What's the whole sensory experience? What's the emotional takeaway you're creating?
Are you just selling ice cream or are you selling summer joy?
Exactly. Are you just offering a thing, or are you creating an experience people actually want to be part of?
So maybe something for you, the listener, to think about as you go about your day. Consider the vibe you're putting out there, not just what you offer, but how you offer it.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe a final thought to chew on. How can you apply this ice cream truck principle to whatever it is you do? Selling a product, a service, maybe even just an idea.
Yeah, what's the vibe you're projecting right now? Is it actually attracting the attention you want? Is it creating that connection?
Lots to think about. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us.